Cameroonians have rallied in front of French diplomatic missions in Yaoundé and in Douala as a sign of indignation to President Emmanuel Macron's misleading words on the Cameroonian leader Paul Biya. Some have requested an apology from France. 15 petitions for the total or partial cancellation of the February 9 National Assembly elections have been rejected by the Constitutional Council of Cameroon. Cameroon and Rwanda have played a 0-0 tie in an international friendly ahead of the forthcoming African Nations Championship in Yaoundé. The details now. Thanks for watching the 7:30 news on CRTV. I am Moki Edwin Kinzeka in Yaoundé. Hundreds of youths have rallied at the French embassy in Yaoundé to ask French President Emmanuel Macron to apologize for the disrespectful words he had for his Cameroonian counterpart, Paul Biya. The peaceful protest did not stop work but upset the usual calm at the embassy in Yaoundé. Beatrice Losamba was there.
Their choice was symbolic. The gate of the French embassy in Yaoundé, from where they could turn the heat on French President Emmanuel Macron, whose remarks to a supposed Cameroonian activist on social media, they say, did not speak well of a diplomat of his caliber.
I was very shocked to hear what a matured man from a great country like France had to say to his father by calling him by his name and saying Monsieur Biya. I was very shocked. Cameroon is an independent country, and we are the one who are supposed to arrange to fix our problems here in Cameroon.
The protesting youths, hundreds of them from universities and dozens of youth associations, have expressed their hurt and demand an apology from Mr. Macron.
The special message for Macron, he has to call and to ask forgiveness for all the Cameroonians, not even the head of state, but all the Cameroonians.
As the day grew older, they mounted more pressure on the French president, saying he had known better than to meddle with the affairs of a sovereign state and toy with its president's reputation. They did not fail to mention that the activist in question spoke on his own account and did not reflect the views of the Cameroonian people. If words did not suffice to express their indignation, placards, T-shirts, papers, patriotic gadgets said it all.
He's the father of all Cameroonians. He was being enthroned and empowered by God Almighty. But all of God know why he's there. He also is our father. And we youth welcome him, sent by God.
The police was not far off to contain excesses if need be. The riots, which started as early as 6 a.m., did not stop work at the embassy, but the usual calm of the alley in Olezwa, leading up to the French diplomatic office, was visibly perturbed.
The government has described as irresponsible the incident in which a supposed Cameroonian confronted French President Emmanuel Macron on allegations of a genocide in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. The Minister of Communication, René Emmanuel Sadi, has reaffirmed government's stance that 5, not 22 villagers were killed in Garbu. The video that provoked this reaction has received widespread condemnation. Ashunyente.
Diplomacy is a complex and subtle act whose tenets sometimes elude even its inventors. But what do you expect? Everyone has a right to be wrong. That is the only way one can explain away the current diplomatic higgy-haga into which a so-called Cameroonian activist has so maladroitly tried to propel Cameroon and France, two countries whose relations have reached an all-time high in recent months, and this has prompted government's reaction. The so-called activists accosted the French president on alleged genocide in the northwest and southwest regions. Without emptying into invectives, nothing could be so distant from the truth. No need to throw into a legal discourse, but we all know the genocide of the Jews and the Tutsis in Rwanda, just to take these examples. These were all planned, systematic crimes that were intended to exterminate or wipe out a particular group of people. It will therefore be God's bad faith and ignorance of the international legal environment to aver even remotely that there is a genocide in those two regions. It is an open secret that all those who escape the violence in the northwest and southwest regions run to the other 8 regions and live peaceful lives thereafter. In the case of genocide, that would not have been possible. The Ngabo incident that has provoked this krinkum is regrettable, and the government has said so. But to qualify an exercise that is intended to preserve the territorial integrity of the country and to guarantee the safety of persons and goods as deliberate mayhem is, by every stretch of imagination, going overboard. And the government has reaffirmed that 22 villagers were not killed in that unfortunate incident. Cameroon, as a bona fide member of the Committee of Nations, has always been open to the suggestions and constructive advice from friendly countries and organizations such as the Commonwealth, La Francophonie, and the African Union. But Cameroon is not a vassal state, nor is it an overseas territory of yesteryear, and no one should cry more than the bereaved. Moreover, the insidious campaigns of calumny and constant denigration of this country and its leaders by errant compatriots is really an exercise in futility, because the Holy Book teaches everyone to respect the governing authorities, for all authority comes from God, and they have been placed there by God. But where does President Paul Biya stand in all of this? He stands tall above controversy, away from the maddening crowd. He has always laid emphasis on the respect of the territorial sovereignty of states within the confines of international law. In the discharge of his constitutional prerogatives, the president has always been firm without being condescending, open but intractable, and his rudder has always been the interest of the Cameroonian people.
The political class has also condemned the reaction of President Emmanuel Macron of France to the so-called Cameroonian activists. They expressed shock on the choice of words, stating that besides being a move to destabilize Cameroon, it is a diplomatic blunder. Beatrice Ngum gathered their views.
They hail from different political backgrounds, no doubt, but in the face of Macron's declarations on the president and Cameroon, they have laid down their political differences and won the same party regalia, that which denounces President Macron's outing.
Le Rassemblement démocratique du peuple camerounais.
The CPDM is indignated with the outing. Cameroon is a free and independent, sovereign and master of its destiny. The president is answerable only to the Cameroonian people who elected him. He has no other master.
They have distanced themselves from President Macron's reaction on allegations of a purported genocide in Cameroon and called on him to respect the sovereignty of the state.
La manière dont le président est sorti.
The outing of the president is indignating. It degrades the function of a president. He made the international community to believe that there is a genocide in Cameroon without any investigations.
It is not appropriate for the head of state's victory to serve as pretext for the heads of state of other countries to question his legitimacy. Today, the entire nation is ready to defend and protect the president. We need respect.
They say Cameroon and France have been enjoying bilateral relations and should remain so.
We respect France. We love France. France has always assisted us, but that does not give her the authorization to disrespect us.
French President's utterances on President Paul Biya and Cameroon on February 22nd have indignated many a Cameroonian, but the political class call to remain patriotic no matter the circumstances remains even stronger.
The political class and civil society in Douala have also described French President Emmanuel Macron's pronouncement as denigrating and unacceptable. Many Cameroonians were at the French consulate in Douala to express their disapproval. Alphonse Abongo-Achu reports from Douala.
The recent pronouncement.
Adrenaline is mounting in the city of Douala following the release of the famous video that went viral over the weekend with French President Emmanuel Macron and the Cameroonian activists as major protagonists. New Popular Movement Party President Banda Kani believes it is a well-crafted out plan by authorities of France.
Cameroon diplomatic option is known in all the world. Is non-intervention, is interior affairs of other countries. Why French authority intervene in our election. Why?
To Dr. Freddy Syriac Lakme, geostrategist and lecturer at the University of Douala, it is a violation of the policy of non-interference in the internal affairs of one sovereign state by another. It is a violation of diplomatic law, and this merits a sanction so that France understands that states need their international sovereignty. To him, the problems of Cameroon need Cameroonian and not French solutions. Bandakani holds that the outing of President Macron comes to betray a strain in a long-term relationship which is beginning a brand new phase. This Monday morning, some Cameroonians expressed their disapproval to the same outing in front of the French consulate in Douala and request an apology from French authorities, to which they term a disrespect to an elected leader by another elected leader.
Religious authorities and other residents of Garoua have also condemned the statements by President Macron. Wilson Mengole reports from Garoua.
Circulating on social media on Cameroon's internal affair has been condemned by those in the public and private circles in the North region.
It's not logic that the president who is in his country can interfere in the affair of another.
People are dying in Northwest and Southwest, and those instigating, financing that conflict are living in your countries there. You know where they are. Cameroon will never and ever be a colony again.
According to Ibrahima Dudu, Imam of the Plateau Mosque in Garoua, events in other parts of the continent have brought untold sufferings to the people, and as such, Cameroonians should not give heed to such comments.
Les Européens, je ne les accuse pas, mais je dis.
I'm not accusing Europeans. They have done more harm than good to us. Who can boast that the Libya of today is quite better without Gaddafi? The wish of the population in the North region is to see the country standing tall in unity and in diversity.
On to other news items now. The Constitutional Council is currently scrutinizing petitions from some disgruntled political parties and individuals who were not satisfied with the conduct of the February 9 National Assembly elections. So far, more than 15 litigations have been examined, with most of them rejected for lack of merit. Quinta Rita Edang sat through the public hearing and now reports.
The petition tabled before the council by Wanto Siantu, CPDM candidate in Opankam, set the ball rolling as he requested the cancellation of the results of UMS for corrupt practices on election day. His case was thrown out as he submitted his file after the 72-hour deadline. Next in line was that of Choli Angelo of the PCRN, requesting the cancellation of the results in Fundi, complaining that many electors voted more than once. His litigation was trashed for lack of evidence. The BRIC political party's petition to cancel the results in Mezam North was similar to that of Babada Mokhtar in Banyo, Otto Dimi of the ANDP in Ja and Lobo, as well as that of Duvasa Aisa of Mayoloti. They all pleaded with the wise men to invalidate the results in their respective constituencies. Unfortunately, their request did not yield fruits. A similar fate befell the representative of the Orange political party, whose attempt to convince the councillors to annul the results in Konki failed. The same treatment was reserved for the CPDM's Ngodok Nkwong, who called for the annulment of the results in Nyong and Kelly for irregularities, Maiman Mahaman of the NUDP in Mayo Sava, who complained of the presence of strange envelopes in some polling stations, and Paul Eric Kinge of the MPCN in Mungo South, who stressed on the need to recount the votes. Amina Bello of the United Democratic Party did not find favor before the council as her plea to annul the results in Dongamantung West were not considered, given that she had been disqualified during the pre-electoral public hearing. One of the hottest petitions came from Sonchat Fit Mama of the CPDM in Nun Center, in which he explained that violence and intimidation by supporters of the Cameroon Democratic Union, CDU, hampered the election. The CDU, however, argued the allegations, saying they have always beaten the CPDM in the area. The court postponed the ruling.
Legal experts have attributed the so many rejections of petitions for the cancellation of elections to the National Assembly on the unprofessional building of files, lack of evidence, and failure to respect Articles 46 and 133 of the Electoral Law that gives guidelines to litigations. Our reporter Joyce Kimbi-Fowajo contacted legal expert Barrister Kisop, and this is what he had to say.
What stood out today is that a lot of petitions have been rejected, declared inadmissible because the petitioners, sometimes even though they met the conditions of form in terms of personality, they did not state the means. That is, they did not state the legal provisions which they claim have been violated. Because when you come before the Constitutional Council, you must state, for example, a legal provision in the Electoral Code which you think caused the irregularities that you are complaining about. So you must tie them for the court to be able to let you in. Now, we've also had a situation where a petitioner asked for the partial cancellation of all the elections in the Northwest and Southwest region, but on the grounds that of insecurity. But the Constitutional Council stated that Section 149 of the Electoral Code makes it very clear that you cannot, a petitioner can only file a petition from the constituency where he contested. And he cannot, the regions are not constituencies. Constituencies are either divisions or special constituencies created by decree of the head of state.
As barely 18 or 20 of the petitions have so far been trashed. Let's now hook up with our reporter, Kilian Dadifon, with the latest developments from the Constitutional Council. Now, Kilian, how are the different political parties reacting and what is new there?
Good evening, Edwin. Good evening to everyone. Welcome to the courtroom of the Constitutional Council here at the Yaoundé Conference Center. For now, the courtroom is full void of the members of the Constitutional Council who have gone on recess after a very long day of the examination, that's hearings of the petitions emanating from 9 legislative elections, and this far 22 out of 40 petitions have already been examined, and the president of the Constitutional Council, Chief Judge Clement Atangana, has pronounced the word he famous of irrecevable 18 times rejected because those have not met the conditions to be accepted for deliberations, for arguments to continue. It means that 4 already have the verdict of 4 have not yet been given. Those 4 concern the UDP, United Democratic Party of El Haj Al-Lawan Bako, where in 2 constituencies, that is Ndawara and Boom, the verdict is yet to be given. We also have another constituency where the CPDM took the CDU party to this court, Constitutional Council court, accusing the elections Cameroon and CDU of orchestrating violence that marred the elections. And here the CPDM is calling for cancellation of elections and asking for a rerun. The third hearings that we are still awaiting the verdict from the Constitutional Council concerns Boya Rural, where the SDF has taken the CPDM to this court, the Constitutional Court, accusing them of insecurity, of not allowing elections to take place, of irregularities. And this is what we have. And there is one article of the Electoral Code, Article 133, that is a trap for most of these parties and candidates that have taken their adversaries to this Constitutional Council Court. The article simply demands that they should provide proofs, practical proofs, and most of their petitions do not respond to this requirement, and that is why that word, irreservable, inadmissible, has been pronounced here since morning 18 times. Kilian Dandifon reporting live from the Constitutional Council Court here at the Yaoundé Conference Center.
Thank you, Kilian. I know it's going to be a long night. Thank you for being there. Now, the electoral process in Cameroon is gradually drawing to an end with the election of mayors and their assistants, but it has not been an easy task for some mayors caught between dictates of party discipline and the stipulations of the Electoral Code. Recently, some elected municipal councillors have been challenging party discipline by making their own individual choices. How can such a defiance be interpreted? Cynthia Saptola.
The visible sign of this defiance demonstrated by recently elected municipal councillors to party disciplines was at the Marua 1 Council. Even though party directives were not followed in this case, political leaders of the party explain that the election of a mayor do follow party rules, who must endorse their actions.
Municipal councillors elect a mayor in accordance with party rules. These rules are clear. They include a residence within the council area, incompatibilities as defined by the Electoral Code, and the issue of morals. The law disqualifies any candidate convicted, and the party goes further by excluding all those with any legal proceedings.
When elected municipal councillors challenge such directives, other political leaders say there are sanctions.
In the Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation, guidelines were established for the selection of mayors and executive councils. Once such decisions were taken together, challenging the party's directives is an act of indiscipline, not democracy.
Political analysts on their part say the actions of some of these municipal councillors shouldn't always be seen as a challenge to party rules.
It is also to respect the choice of population and giving them possibility to truly participate by choosing the mayor. It is the proof that democratization is now truly entrenched within the party.
Analysts hold that party disciplines should not go contrary to the Electoral Code, as all elected officials will be answerable before the law.
It has been noticed that Cameroonian business persons have not fully made use of the opportunities offered by the Douala Stock Exchange, which is the only one in Central African Economic Bloc. It was created in 2001 by the government of Cameroon to represent a 300 billion franc market capitalization ready to spur growth. Which opportunities exist at the stock exchange for which companies? Luma Slim Davis attempts an answer.
The strength of the production of goods and services rely very much on available finances which could be sourced, either directly or indirectly. One of these being the stock exchange market.
The key role is to make companies be able to raise the money through direct, access to saving, and it can be big amount which you cannot have directly.
But then, while the stock exchange could help shore up capital for Cameroonian enterprises, there might be some drawbacks.
The condition to access the stock exchange is very strong in terms of transparency, in terms of corporate governance, so that you have different segments in a stock exchange. You can have blue chips. This is very big companies. We are able to satisfy all the conditions and also raise a big amount of money. For small business and medium-sized enterprises, it's not easy.
In all, in spite of the challenges, with 3 enterprises in Douala raking in 4.178 billion CFA francs, the stock exchange holds an added value.
Housing and Urban Development Minister Celestine Kecha-Cortez has visited the Sos Mosque Terminus Mimboman stretch of the road under construction in Yaoundé to evaluate work done this far. She called on the road construction company to make sure deadlines are respected to the fullest. Natasha Lehman-Losha was there.
Come rain, come shine, by the 20th of March 2020, the Sos Mosque Terminus Mimboman stretch will be completed to ease mobility during the Shan 2020. The construction of this 1.1 kilometers double-lane road, which began in 2017 and reinitialized in 2019 by Minister Celestine Kecha-Cortez, when she came at the helm of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, is geared towards developing the area and improve the living conditions of the population. After this visit, the minister gave recommendations to the team working on the site to double efforts so as to meet up with the deadline.
We are some 4 weeks ago to the Shan, and the only recommendation that I can give to the company is that they should do all their best. They should put emergency activities. That means they should work in the night to make sure that next 20th March the road will be achieved.
For the project to be executed 100%, the minister also prescribed the population's involvement with eventual success.
Some 30 employees of the Cameroonian Sanitation Services sector have been awarded labor medals for their excellent services to their company. This was on the occasion of the company's 45th anniversary of existence, officiated at by the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Gregor. Details with Gloria will come from CRTV Littoral in Douala.
Industrial zones and today clean and void of waste thanks to the Cameroonian Sanitation Services SECA. The management of the 45-year-old enterprise specialized in the collection, transportation and the disinfection of industrial and household waste, say it was high time they honored their most distinct personnel.
It is an occasion for the enterprise to recognize the good job done by our employees. It is rare to find people who give in their all to their job like these 30 we have critically selected. Celebrating 45 years of existence, the enterprise is putting in efforts to face upcoming challenges heads-on.
Of the 30 employees rewarded, 18 received silver medals, 8 vermeil and 9 were decorated in gold. Handing over the medals, the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Gregor Owona, congratulated and urged them to work harder by pursuing merit and excellence. Some of the medal recipients say it is the fruit of their hard work.
I am very happy for being honored, and I will say it is the fruit of perseverance, honesty, and punctuality.
A medal was equally given posthumously to a staff who is of blessed memory, a gesture his wife applauded.
I was very happy when I was called, and I congratulate the SECA management for always having their employees at heart, even if they are dead.
To respect the principles of sustainable development, which requires the maintenance of natural balances, SECA offers its customers a sanitation strategy based on cleaning of surfaces, tank maintenance, high-pressure cleaning of machines, emptying of pits, tanks and retention basins, the packaging and cross-border of hazardous waste, vector control like pest, rat extermination, and the disinfection of all environments.
On the spot now, the Intermediate Lions of Cameroon have played a 0-all draw against the Amavobis of Rwanda in a friendly. The encounter that took place at the Yaoundé Omnisport Stadium today serves as a preparation for the two teams ahead of the upcoming African Nations Championship that will be hosted by Cameroon in April. Rome Kenye has the highlights of that game.
Though a game of no stakes, both selections gave a proper account of themselves this Monday at the Yaoundé Sports Stadium. Dominance was at equilibrium in the confrontation that saw the Amavubis of Rwanda impose play style in the first half.
Cameroon's defense line as the Amavubis is trying to break through there. Unfortunately for them, there is an ever-bold presence, Berlin, who are masterminded by certain Congo.
The attackman Enes Ugira was exceptional, traumatizing Cameroon's defense line by creating a litany of goal-scoring opportunities, but lacked precision to balance the equations.
Ugira Enes, who succeeds to send one defender for Cameroon one team. He comes in with a powerful shot there, Ugira Enes themselves.
During the second segment, the Intermediate Lions of Cameroon took over commands, imposing their rhythm thanks to a 5-man substitution. They came close to opponent's score in the twilight of the game after a beautiful Etabawak Akono combination fell on a loose shot.
La compétition proprement dite. Et revoici Akono, attention. Il est obligé. C'est pas écarter le danger. Attention! Oh non!
After playing a 0-0 tie against the Amavubis, coach Clément Aroga and lads have thus recorded their second draw in 4 international friendlies ahead of the upcoming CHAN at home in April.
And that ends the 7:30 news on CRTV. Join Adem Bala in exactly 30 minutes for the news in the French language. I am Moki Edwin Kinziken Yaoundé. Thank you for watching.
CRTV News, ici, toute l'info.